Let's go over how to lose 10 pounds relatively quickly following my 5-step system. In this live stream, we're going to go over my weight loss calorie formula. Then we're going to go over how much protein you should eat to make weight loss really easy and also to help you maintain your muscle mass when you're losing weight. Then we'll go over the type of exercise and workout program I'm going to want you to follow. And then we're going to go over my favorite time restricted eating fasting strategy. It's really going to help you lose this 10 maybe 15 pounds quick. I'm going to break it all down for you. Also, we'll do a bunch of Q&A at the end. We'll answer all your questions during the live stream. We'll do a whole bunch of Q&A at the end, and then at the end I'm going to pull in a whole bunch of meal ideas just to give you an example of the style of eating that I really like. But let's jump right into it. If you have any questions, let me know. I haven't gone live on YouTube in a while. I've been doing most of my live streams every Sunday in my private coaching group. If you want to work with me one-on-one and you want me to help you lose some weight, get into amazing shape, and you want to work with me online, check out the link I have below this video. You can book a free video call with me. You can go over all your goals and see if you're a good fit to work with me. Okay, let's go over this weight loss calorie formula. Whenever I do a video on this, it does incredibly well, and there's such a simple way to calculate how many calories you should be eating when you're looking to lose weight. Because you really do, number one, the first step is you really have to get into a manageable calorie deficit if you want to lose some weight. I mean, I like to be pretty aggressive with people starting out, because I know, just for doing this for over 40 years, that if people don't lose weight pretty quickly within the first week or two, they lose their motivation, they get discouraged. So what I like to do is that I like to just take your body weight, whatever it might be, and to multiply that by 10. I think that's a great way to get into a manageable calorie deficit. So for example, let's say you're a guy, you're 200 pounds, you want to quickly drop 10 pounds. I think you can do it in 4 to 6 weeks. If you just multiply your body weight by 10, so 200 pounds times 10 is 2,000 calories. So if you eat 2,000 calories a day, I think you'll do really well. Say you're a gal, 150 pounds, say you want to lose a quick 10 pounds, you want to get down to 140 pretty quickly. If you ate 1,500 calories per day, that's a great calorie deficit, I think, too. Obviously, this is not a perfect formula. If you're really active, like my son was a collegiate runner, the guy's running 60, 70 miles a week, obviously he would need a lot more calories. But for the typical average person, I think multiplying your body weight by 10 is aggressive, but not overly aggressive, as a great calorie deficit. Now, what I also like to do is I'm also a big believer in cycling your calories, meaning that some days you eat more, other days you eat less. Now, the reason why I like that so much is two main reasons. Number one, it's a lot easier for you to stay in a calorie deficit if you know some days you can eat more and other days you can eat less. You can kind of plan out your week. Maybe you're going out to dinner a couple nights a week, or maybe you got things going on. It's just a lot easier to stay in a calorie deficit if you know some days you can eat more, other days you can eat less. Plus, it's also good for your metabolism. It keeps your metabolism up, eating more calories some days, eating less calories other days, because when you eat more, you're pushing up your metabolism. So that's why I really like cycling calories, and this is how I like to do it. I like people to first multiply their body weight by 10. Let's go back to that 200-pound guy who wants to lose 10, 20 pounds. 2,000 calories one day. But let's pick his goal weight. Pick your goal weight to cycle. I mean, that let's say he really would like to weigh 180 pounds. So one day I want him to multiply his goal weight by 10. So 1,800 calories one day, 2,000 calories the next day. And I want him to keep cycling. 1,800, 2,000, 1,800, 2,000. Let's say you have a lot of weight to lose. Let's say you want to lose 40 pounds. Let's say you're 200 pounds and you want to get down to 160. 2,000 calories one day, 1,600 calories the next. Keep on repeating that. It's a great way to keep you motivated, excited about the diet. And it's a lot easier knowing that you can eat more some days than others. Let's say you're that woman who weighs 150 pounds. Say you want to get down to 120, you want to lose 30 pounds. Multiply your body weight by 10, so 1,500 calories one day, multiply your goal weight by 10, 1,200 calories the second day. Monday, Tuesday, keep on repeating it. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 15, 1,200, 15, 1,200. I think it's a great way to stay into a calorie deficit. I know we got a couple of people in the room here. Just give me a thumbs up or just say hello to make sure. I'm assuming the sound is good. I'm assuming everything is being broadcast properly. But just give me a thumbs up and just give me some type of indication that everything is good. And then let's go over to part 2. There's 5 different steps. So we just covered step 1, manageable calorie deficit. Probably the most important thing. The second most important thing, I think, is to eat an adequate amount of protein. And there's 3 main reasons why I lean towards more high protein diet. First of all, when you eat protein, good, we got a thumbs up so everything's being broadcast properly. That's great. First of all, when you eat protein, you're satisfied. It has the highest satiety out of all the 3 macronutrients: proteins, fats, and carbs. Right, you eat a steak, you eat a piece of salmon, right, you have some scrambled eggs. It's incredibly satisfying. Plus, when you get protein, you get a little bit of fat with it, so you're not hungry for hours. You know, research is showing that people who eat a higher protein diet generally eat less calories. I think the 2 most important things when it comes to weight loss: protein and calories. Getting in a calorie deficit, eating enough protein. Those are the 2 most important things to keep an eye on. The second reason why I like protein so much is that protein has the highest thermic effect of all your macronutrients: protein, fats, and carbs. When you eat protein, let's say you eat 100 calories of protein, you're going to burn up 25 to 30% of those calories just digesting and processing the protein. So the net calories are less. So out of 100 calories, maybe you're only really getting 70, 75 calories. So you can literally take someone who's eating the same amount of calories, just increase their percentage of protein in their diet. That can put them into a calorie deficit. And the third reason why I think protein is so important is that when you're losing weight, you want to maintain your muscle mass. First of all, you never want to lose muscle anyway, because you know, when you want to be strong, you want to be functional, you want to be really healthy. It's good for your longevity to have muscle in your body. Plus, you want to move and be active. Obviously, you want muscle. Plus, when you lose muscle, it's going to slow down your metabolism. So by eating protein along with resistance training, it's critically important, especially when you're cutting calories. It's going to help you maintain your muscle mass. So the first 2 steps, which are the most important, I think, when it comes to losing weight, is first get into a manageable calorie deficit, and number 2, eat an adequate amount of protein. So how much protein should you eat? Like the best way to do it is if you know your body fat levels, which I know most people don't. The only real accurate way to know what your body fat percentages are is to have like a DEXA scan or do underwear weighting like I used to do in exercise physiology lab many years ago when I was studying this stuff in school. You know, those electrical impedance scales are pretty inaccurate. Even the pinch calibers, I think, are somewhat inaccurate. But let's say you do know what your percent body fat is. Let's say you're 150 pounds, 20% body fat. So you get 120 pounds of lean mass at 150 pounds. You multiply that by 0.9, right? And that would give you about 108 grams of protein per day. And I know that's really difficult. So the formula I like to use, which is so simple, is to just take your body weight and multiply by 0.7 and eat that many grams of protein per day. It's going to come out very similar to the other formula. The only time I don't like to use that formula is if you have a lot of weight to lose. But if you're only looking to lose 10, 15, maybe 20 pounds, multiply your body weight by 0.7. But if you have like 30 pounds or more to use, then I would calculate how much protein you should eat based on your goal weight, because you have a lot of body fat and you don't want to overdo the protein. You reach your point of diminishing returns. So for example, if you have 30, 40 pounds of body weight to lose, let's say you're that 200-pound guy and you really only want to weigh, say, 160 pounds, multiply 160 by 0.7 and eat that many grams of protein. So that's the key to these first 2 steps: calories, calorie deficit, eating an adequate amount of protein. And to do this effectively, you really have to track with one of those apps. You know, the popular ones now are Lose It, MyFitnessPal. There's paid and unpaid versions. You get some features if you want to pay a little bit for them. But it's so important, in my opinion, to track calories, track your protein. It's even good to see how many grams of carbs and fat you're eating. To me, carbs and fat aren't as important to track, because the main thing is to get into a calorie deficit, eat an adequate amount of protein. Depending upon your eating style, I lean more towards a whole natural food diet, moderate and low in carbohydrates. That's my style of eating. And if you work with me one-on-one, if you hire me as your coach, that's probably the first approach we will try with you, is a whole natural food diet, put you in a calorie deficit, make sure you're eating enough protein. And I would go more in the moderate carb camp. Most of the carbs I want you to going to be fibrous type carbs, like fruits and vegetables, things like that. And you'll see at the end of this live stream, I'm going to actually pull in a whole bunch of meal ideas, which it'll show you my style of eating. But if you follow me on YouTube, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, wherever I think I'm broadcasting this on every platform. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram right now. I didn't get too much of a notice, so I don't think as many people who normally would show up. I used to go live every Sunday at 10 o'clock, but now I do my coaching. If you hire me as your coach, I do like a private coaching live stream on Zoom every Sunday. So I haven't been doing it here. Hey Susan, you're here. Thanks. I know I did this. I'm curious. This has been 2 weeks since we spoke, so I'm so curious to see if you've been following the calorie deficit, eating enough protein, and you should be lighter now after 2 weeks. So I'm so curious to see how you're doing. I was actually going to text you tomorrow after I did the group live coaching, just to see how you were doing. I was thinking about you last night. That it's about 2 weeks. Okay, so now the third thing we got to talk about. So you gave me a thumbs up, so maybe you're losing weight, which I would be so happy about. That would be so great. But definitely you text me and let me know how you're doing. Okay, so we got the first 2 steps down, right? You understand you have to be in a calorie deficit. You understand you have to eat an adequate amount of protein. You're going to track things with one of these apps like MyFitnessPal or Lose It, and you're going to make adjustments. Because even this formula may not be perfect, but it's a great place to start. Multiplying your body weight by 10, multiplying your goal weight by 10, and cycling your calories. Now, the third thing, obviously, you have to live an active lifestyle. I like to make this like a hard rule. I love when people walk 60 minutes every single day. I personally walk 90 minutes every single day. I already walked an hour. And I think it's better to do multiple walks during the day as opposed to one long walk, for multiple reasons. First of all, every time you walk, you're controlling blood sugar, you're lowering blood sugar. Some doctors, some researchers feel that one of the biggest indicators of your longevity, how long you're going to live, is how well your body controls blood sugar. So if you can walk 2-3 times during the day, even if it's just 10-20 minutes, those are 3 different times during the day when you're lowering blood sugar, like you're burning excess calories, which is great too. Plus, for your mental health, it's incredibly good to walk multiple times per day. I don't think there's a better thing you can do for your physical and mental health than to walk, if not once, multiple times during the day. If you can do it outside, even better, because you're getting that sunlight, you're getting that vitamin D. Great for your circadian rhythm. The more sunlight you get during the day, the better you're going to sleep at night. There's so many, and plus just being outside in nature, there's nothing better you can do for yourself than to be outside and take a walk. Plus, walking is going to make you a fat burner because it's a fat burning activity. Running is a little different, or high intensity exercise is different because you're burning mostly carbohydrates. It's a different muscle cells are being involved. When you're walking, you're burning fat. It's like meditating when you're moving. It's really comfortable. You're conditioning the slow twitch muscle fibers. Those are the muscle fibers that are contracting, which are very oxidative. They're really good at burning oxygen and fat. So you're turning yourself into a fat burner by doing these walks, and you can't overdo it. The more walking, the better. Haha, you're laughing. I'm crying. I'm crying. I hope that doesn't mean you didn't lose any weight, Susan. I know. We'll try to figure it out if you have it. We'll see. Okay, so number 3, walking. Right, number 1, let's go. I'm going to keep on repeating this because I really want to drive this home. Number 1, calorie deficit. Number 2, adequate amount of protein. Number 3, I'd like you to walk every single day. And if you can do multiple walks, the better. I would say a minimum of 60 minutes a day would be incredible, especially if you want to lose 10 pounds within 4 to 6 weeks, which is really doable. You can do it. Okay. Now, the fourth thing is you have to do resistance training. Obviously, similar to eating protein, you want to maintain that muscle mass when you're losing weight. Plus, it's just good to lift weights, right? You want strong bones, strong connective tissue. You want to look good as you age. You want a nice, like, shapely physique. You want to be strong, which is really cool. Let's see. Hey, Joey, what's your take on protein shakes? It's kind of cool. See, I can pull these comments. I should have pulled your comment in, Susan. No, I think protein shakes are great, Joey. I know some people don't like them as much as maybe I do. I think it's great. I mean, my favorite protein shake is like a whey protein isolate. I like that because it's high in those branched chain amino acids. And when it comes to protein synthesis, besides all the 9 essential amino acids, you need all 9. Those are the amino acids, the proteins that you have to get through your diet for good health. You really want to have a protein powder, in my opinion, that's high in those branched chains, specifically leucine. Like, you want to try to get 2,800, 3,000 milligrams with maybe 100, 120 calories, 25 grams of protein. That's a typical whey protein isolate. I prefer an isolate over a concentrate because an isolate, everything is stripped out of it. You're pretty much just there with the protein amino acids. There's very little fat, very little carbohydrates. A concentrate has some other things in it. There were some other good protein powders too. Like, I like collagen, but collagen's missing tryptophan, so it's not a complete protein. Right, egg white, I do an egg white protein a lot. The bioavailability of egg white, probably the highest, even better than leucine. I don't feel like it tastes as good. I don't think it mixes in water as well, but I do like an egg white protein. The plant proteins, they're going to be a little bit more denser, meaning that it'll probably be more like 140 calories for 25 grams of protein. Some are not high in leucine, some others. The brand I like the best, I have no affiliation with them, is Garden of Life plant protein. You know, if you want, I can put a link below this video. Just drop me a comment, drop me a note, and I'll give you a link to that one. The reason why I like that one is because they mix different sources of plant protein. They use beans, I think they use pea and hemp seed. There's a combination, but that combination increases those branched chain aminos, so you do get a lot of leucine. As opposed to just doing like a pea protein or a hemp seed protein, the leucine won't be as high. You really want that leucine. That's like the rock star of amino acids. That helps you put on a maintain muscle. But I think it's fine. I mean, some people may say, Mike, don't recommend protein powders because there are some sugar alcohols in there, which there are. Then, you know, there's some stevia and monk fruit and some emulsifiers if you're going with the flavored ones. But if you really want to be a purist, and if you're concerned about those things, you can just get a plain, unflavored whey protein isolate. They'll have nothing in it, pretty much besides just the whey, the dairy. But it's not going to taste good. It's going to be like chalk. You're going to have to mix it in a flavored liquid, like a juice or something like that, or maybe put some blueberries or banana in, and then that could be fine. Or you can mix in like oatmeal, flavored oatmeal or something. That would be fine too. Let's see what we got here. Okay. This is Sally Star, 1992. Is it healthy to drink green smoothies as a meal replacement long term? I have been doing this for almost 2 years. I mostly eat twice a day for 6 days a week. Blood sugar is good, and I don't take meds. No, I think that's great. I think a green smoothie, why not? I mean, I'm not exactly sure what's in your green smoothie. That can mean multiple different things. I'm assuming it's probably some type of green powder, so like dehydrated green vegetables and things like that. And then maybe, since you're calling it a smoothie, I'm assuming maybe you're putting like some plain yogurt in there as well. I think it's totally fine, but I love your plan. I love the 2MAD diet. It's one of my favorite ways to have people eat less and keep their calories under control. 2MAD, standing for 2 meals a day. You're going to see when I get to step 5 in this presentation, like my 5th step for helping people lose 10 pounds, or my 5 steps is going to be an intermittent fasting, time restricted eating strategy. And 2 meals a day is one of the strategies. I love it. I think you're doing great, Sally. I love it. Let's see what Susan had to say. Have you ever looked at Naked Whey? You know, I did. One of my clients was doing Naked Whey. I haven't seen the whey. He was doing the pea, and I even tried it. You know, I know it's a very popular brand, and I think it's one of the more affordable brands in general, Naked. I found though that the plant pea protein just didn't taste good to my liking. He didn't like it either, so we switched them over to Garden of Life. I think I may have quickly looked at Naked Whey, and I think it was a concentrate, Sue. So look at it. If it's a concentrate, I'm probably not going to like it as much, but I'm a little bit biased because I'm personally lactose intolerant, and whey protein concentrates, because it has more in it, you know, has the it upsets my stomach. The protein, the carbohydrates and the fat. Whereas in isolate, everything is stripped out of it. So generally, people who are lactose intolerant can tolerate a whey protein isolate, but they have trouble with a whey protein concentrate. But it's a very popular brand. So many of these supplement companies, I almost opened up a supplement company. Everyone thinks about it. A guy like, I'm a social media guy. I got a big following, or somewhat of a big following. I looked into starting a supplement brand. It's a very difficult business, and so many of these supplement brands, they don't manufacture the supplements. They get them from manufacturers, and there's just a few. It's all the same thing. I don't know if Naked has a manufacturing plant where they're actually importing the ingredients to themselves. Most likely they're getting it from another source, and it could be the same exact brand, same exact way as another company is selling. That's the confusing thing about the supplement company. Susan, only 3 ingredients, no flavor. I thought it was an isolate. Need to look. Yeah, look, Susan. If it's an isolate, I'm sure I will like it. Then it's just pretty much just like dairy stripped down to the amino acid, which I'll love. But I think it might be a concentrate. Look at the calorie. It'll say it right on there. Plus, I also would like to know, where is it sourced? Like, is it from China? Is it grass-fed? See, if it's grass-fed, grass-finished, then okay, if it's a concentrate, I would want it to be grass-fed, grass-finished, because the bad stuff winds up in the fat. But if it's an isolate, where everything's stripped out of it, it's probably not as important for it to be grass-fed, grass-finished. The best dairy, the best whey generally comes from Ireland. They can truly feed the cows like 365 days a year. They get the climate, the water. Whereas maybe New Zealand, probably the second best, maybe 9-10 months out of the year, they can really grass-fed, grass-feed the cows. Sometimes when they say grass-fed, grass-finished, they're giving them grass pellets. But if you really want those pasture-raised cows, Ireland, New Zealand, certain parts of California, but the weather in California has been so crazy nowadays. Who knows anymore? Well, here's Joey. Does eating a little bit of calories slow down your metabolism? And so many people say you need more frequent meals, or else you can slow down your metabolism. I don't really think that's true. There's a little bit something to that, because when you do eat, it really boosts your metabolism. And you can be too overly aggressive with calorie restriction, and you can over-exaggerate metabolic adaptation and go into starvation mode. Look at it like this. Whenever you lose weight, you become a smaller person. And most people generally lose some muscle, when they're losing weight. So your metabolism is going to slow down. If you restrict calories too aggressively and go into starvation mode, like let's say your maintenance calories are 3,000 calories a day. That means you're eating 3,000 calories. You're not gaining, you're not losing. Let's say 2,000 calories is an aggressive calorie deficit, but still in the realm of being okay. But if you went down to like 1,200 calories or 1,000 calories or less, and your maintenance is 3,000 calories, you're going to go into probably most likely go into starvation mode, especially if you do this like for months on end. And then that's when people, that's a good example of the participants in that TV show, The Biggest Loser. Remember years ago, they did extreme calorie restriction. These people were eating like nothing. 600, 700, 800 calories a day, bigger people, exercising like crazy. And they went into like starvation mode, even though they lost tons of weight on the show. There's been studies done on them where even years later, their metabolism still haven't recovered. That's when maybe if that happens to someone, that's when you may want to consider doing that reverse dieting. That's a technique that a lot of physique athletes use, where say they cut down for a show, they get incredibly lean, they really reduce their calories. They don't want to just gain body fat. They'll slowly increase their calories every couple of weeks, eat another 100 calories, then another 100 calories over like a 2-3 month period. They get back up to a normal amount of calories while not putting on a lot of body fat. They just let their metabolism kind of adjust to it. This is a really delicate thing. I do find though with most people, like especially if they're struggling to lose weight, that it's not really that. It can be for some people. And let's assume, I know there are people with thyroid issues and hormonal issues. I find though with like 90% of the people are still eating too many calories. Like they're just not tracking diligently. And it's a hard thing to do. That's why long-term people will say, and it's true, that calorie counting doesn't necessarily work long-term, even though it does work. Just people can't stick to it. That's what it comes down to. It's very hard to do. You got to be incredibly motivated. Who wants to start looking up every single thing to eat. I feel that way sometimes because I feel like I can't make a lunchtime meal in my house, but I mean making a video of it, because I want to put it on Instagram or YouTube as a short video. I feel like I can't even enjoy lunch because I gotta, not only do I have to cook the meal, now I gotta set the lights up, I gotta film it, and I can't eat it now. Now it gets cold. It's funny. It's like counting calories. It's just a hard thing to do, but it works. But yes, Joey, you can overdo it. No question about it. That's why I'm also a big believer in, like, if people work with me one-on-one in my coaching program, there's a couple of things I always do. That's why I like cycling. Sometimes I'll cycle them from maintenance calories to deficit, maintenance calories to deficit. It slows down weight loss, but it really stops you from messing with your metabolism because you're going from maintenance, which boosts your metabolism, to deficit. Or if I keep someone in a calorie deficit for a couple of months, say 6 to 8 weeks, I have to say most people never stick to it that perfectly in the 6 to 8 weeks. Like they'll go on vacation, or they'll have like a cheat week, or sometimes someone gets sick and then they just stop working out and they start eating. And that gives them that little bit of a calorie boost for a week or so I don't have to take a diet break. But if someone works with me and they've been really strict for say 8 weeks in a calorie deficit, maybe they lost 15 pounds or so, I want them to take a diet break. I'll bring them up to maintenance calories. If it's for a week, 10 days, maybe even a couple of weeks, even though they may not want to do it, then we put them back into a calorie deficit. That's really good for your metabolism. The research is mixed on it. There are some studies that say, yes, it's great for long-term weight loss. Other studies say no. The most difficult thing with these weight loss studies is it's so hard for people to be diligent in recording what they're eating. You can't lock someone in a room. They've done it, but you can't really lock someone in a room and just give them all their meals 3 days a week for months. And you know what I mean? Most of these nutritional studies are on people's recollect. I barely remember. I eat the same things over and over again. I barely remember what I had for dinner last night. I think I remember last night. I do remember. I made chicken thighs. I had a sweet potato. That's why I remember, because I typically don't eat sweet potatoes. It's a real treat for me. And I had a sweet potato last night and broccoli, and I had some chicken thighs. My wife was out. She was in the city. So I cooked, so I really maybe remember. Here's Sally. Kale, avocado. Okay, you're talking about your green smoothie now, right? Kale, avocado, cucumber, coconut oil, protein powder, oat milk, lemon, ginger, coconut milk. This is what I put in my smoothies. Thank you for your feedback. No, I love them. Love it. I think it's great. It's all about calories and protein, but that sounds super healthy. I'm not sure what protein powder you're putting in there. There's minimally processed stuff in there. I love it. I think it's great. I'm eating avocado every day. To me, I'm assuming your weight is good. To me, could be a little bit of a higher calorie thing, but you seem like you're using it as a meal replacement. So I think it's great. I think it sounds great. Good job, Sally. Let's see. Okay, Mike, I really appreciate you and your authentic content. Oh, I love it. That's why I love going live on YouTube. I always get some nice compliments. I am 53, and I found difficulties in measuring my metabolism, where I lose weight. Also, which state are you in? Do you offer programs? Okay, I'm in New York, and I've owned the gym for like 37 years. I've moved my gym around, but I'm in a town called Mount Kisco, which is about 30 minutes north of Manhattan. But most of how I coach people is online, just like this. So how it works is that, first, if you're interested, I will send you a link, or you can click a link below the video and you can book a free video call with me so we can talk about your goals and everything in great detail. But how the coaching program works is that first I send you about 15 questions, and they're not easy questions to answer. It's going to take you a couple hours to go through them. And even though there are 15 questions, there are 4 to 5 questions in each question. So I learned a tremendous about you by answering all these questions. What your goals are, what you're looking to do, how much time you have, the equipment you have at your house, the good diet preferences. I try to learn a lot about your life and what's going on with you. After I get these questions back, I design a whole program for you. Diet, meal plan, workout schedule, active lifestyle. We focus on sleep, circadian rhythm, like every aspect of your health and life. And then I put everything in an app. So you're going to look at this app every day. You're going to see your meal plan there. You're going to see all the workouts I want you to do. And every day I want to look at this app and see what you were doing. Did you follow the eating plan? Did you do the workout you're supposed to do? And you have to mark it complete. Plus, I give you multiple daily habits. Like if I find out that you're a person that doesn't drink enough, doesn't hydrate properly, I'm going to give you a habit reminder. Drink 68 ounces or 64, drink half a gallon of water today. If you're the type of person that doesn't sleep well, maybe you're on your computer at night all the time or on the phone, I'm going to leave you a habit, nighttime hygiene. So I'm really on top of you, and we structured this whole healthy lifestyle plan for you. But the big part of it is the accountability. I want to look at this app every single day, see what you've done, and then I'm going to contact you every single day. Every morning when I wake up early. I go through everyone that I'm coaching. I leave them a text message or a voice message, or sometimes I even leave people a video if I feel that they really need motivation, they're off track. The daily accountability is key. Then every 2 weeks we do a video call to go over your goals, once again, like a 30-minute video call. And then every Sunday, 11 o'clock Eastern time, we do a group Zoom coaching call, and I pick a topic. Like, for example, a presentation like this would be similar to what I would do on Sundays at 11 o'clock, but there I will pull in some slides. Like last week I did how to get enough protein when you're in a calorie deficit, and I gave meal examples. I talked for like 15-20 minutes, and then everyone in the group, since I can see you on Zoom, ask questions. And then there's a whole nice community there in the group too. Like, you're gonna like everyone in the group. They're all nice people, men and women. It's a 50-50 split, but generally a little bit on the older side, since I'm focusing on people like pretty much 40 and over, I would say. That's how the coaching program works. But if you're interested, let me know. And if you click the link below this video, it takes you to my other website. You watch this short video, it's like a minute long, and then I ask you a few questions. The price, I divulge the price of the coaching program there and everything too, so there's no surprises. And if you're interested, let me know. We can do a free Zoom video call, just to talk. Okay, here's Sean. Let's see what Sean got to say. Hey, Sean. Hey, Mike. I've done OMAD 3 years with one long 45-hour a week. It's been life-changing. Oh, that's so cool. I'm glad you brought this up. I've changed my opinion on the OMAD diet based on this new study. I was going to do a video on that. I'm going to. I've done some short videos, but I'm going to do a long one. It's been a life-changing event. I was keto. Now I eat whole food diet, fruit, honey as carbs. I feel unreal. I had so many problems towards... Let me pull your comment back up. So many problems towards the end of keto, heart palpitation, cramps. Yeah, no, you get electrolyte issues, some people. That's like Paul Saladino. Sounds like you're doing more like a Paul Saladino type diet now. Cramps, insomnia, no more with this approach. I use carb, diminishing. I do carb. I had to stop. Great content, my friend. Oh, that sounds great, Sean. I really, really appreciate it. I love that. I like the OMAD. That's interesting. This is how I changed on the OMAD diet. And I'm surprised I didn't realize this sooner. When you go to like these Facebook groups, I'm a member of a couple of them, and you look at these before and after OMAD pictures, similar to what Sean's talking about, it's just incredible. I mean, people lose 100 pounds, and they do OMAD every single day. They fast for 23 hours, which is the traditional way of doing it. They eat one big meal within a 1 hour eating window, and they just drop in weight like crazy. They're feeling amazing. Plus, they're in a fasted state for 23 hours, which is good for so many different things. I love the OMAD diet. I personally do it every Sunday. But my initial opinion on it, this is how I felt about it for years, is that it's difficult to take in enough protein only eating one meal a day. But this has changed now, and I'll tell you why. It seems like, for many, many years you may have heard, this is why I think, I forget his name now because I'm going so fast here, what Joey was saying, why this is one of the reasons why bodybuilders were eating multiple meals a day, besides the fact that they felt it was boosting their metabolism. They felt, you can only process 25 to 30 grams of protein when it comes to protein synthesis, not other things for protein. When it comes to putting on muscle and maintaining muscle, every 2-3 hours, you can only process 25-30 grams. So bodybuilders, physique athletes were eating these like 6-7 meals a day. I had friends who would wake up in the middle of the night and eat protein twice in a night to make sure they got all their protein in for the day, because they wanted a minimum of 1 gram of protein, 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Then over the years, in the last 10 years, that's kind of changed. And then there's been some meta-analysis. They kind of upped it to more, maybe 60 grams, 65 grams of protein, per meal. But a new study just came out. I did a short video on it saying that you can consume up to 100 grams of protein, if not more, in just one meal. and you will utilize that protein for protein synthesis. And the reason they gave is that the body slows down digestion 12 hours after that one meal. You could still be processing and utilizing that protein to build and maintain muscle. So that made me change my opinion. I always was a big believer. Whenever I did the OMAD diet, I always felt, I think you should do it intermittently. Do it 2-3 times a week. Great way to be in a calorie deficit. But to do it every single day, I think you're going to have a hard time maintaining your muscle mass. Or I would say, why don't you do a modified version? Do 1.5. Do a protein snack. Don't do a 1 hour eating window. Maybe give yourself a 4 hour eating window. Do like a 20-hour fast with a 4 hour eating window. Have a protein snack, a protein shake, a protein meal, then have your normal big meal. But I have to say, I'm going to change my opinion on it. And now, based on this study, that you can take upwards of 100 grams, if not more, I think you can get by. And maybe Sean's just a great example of it. I think you can get by with doing OMAD somewhat indefinitely. As long as you're taking a good nutrition within that one meal. I mean, if you can pound, you can do a 16-ounce steak, a 16-ounce piece of salmon, get 100 grams of protein. If you're a bigger guy or gal, do 150 grams of protein in one meal. Get your fiber, your fruits, your vegetables, get it all in one meal. I think you can do it long term now. So I have changed my opinion on that for sure based on the study. Really interesting. I'm glad you're doing so well, Sean. Sorry you're spot on with your advice. Wished I've seen you when I started. 121 kilos to 50. Oh man, that's awesome, Sean. You're doing so good. So happy for you. That's a great picture. I'm sure that's a picture. It's you. Is that one of your kids or that's you? Oh, when you were a kid. This is Sally. Okay. Is it possible to be pre-diabetic free long term if you keep a good diet and maintain weight without meds? Of course. I will. Okay. Or will I eventually get diagnosed with diabetes as I age? I'm sorry. No. Hopefully you'll never get diabetes. I mean, maybe if there's a strong family history of diabetes in your family, maybe you are a little bit more genetically predisposed to it. But if you maintain an optimal weight and you eat a good healthy diet, why would you ever get diabetes? I mean, I don't think you would ever get it. Hopefully you won't, And you get your blood work done every year or two. You look at your A1C. If anything ever comes back slightly elevated, you jump right on it. You reduce calories, maybe go a little bit lower on the carbs, lose a couple pounds. I mean, I don't think you'll ever get diabetes. And I've had clients who reversed their diabetes working with me. I mean, not all, but I've had one guy you'll see. I'm surprised Chris is not here. He shows up all the time. I don't think he knew I was going live on YouTube. I went live on Instagram earlier today. I walked on the treadmill. We had a snow day in New York. It looks like my driveway's finally clear, but I walked an hour on the treadmill. I did a live stream on Instagram. I just felt like doing some lives today. Let's see. Okay, after eating this way for a few weeks, I need to add some calories to my 2 meals. What would you recommend to eat more of? I would stay, well, first of all, once again, to protein, I want to make sure you're getting an adequate amount of protein. That's number one. Number two, I like you can throw in fiber. Like if you're eating 25, 30 grams of fiber, you're eating healthy because then you're getting the vegetables, you're getting the fruits, you're getting the protein, and then you stay within your calorie limits. And I like you're saying, cycling in and out. Like even when you're cycling on those lower calorie days, never cut back on protein. Always keep the protein up. So back to that guy who weighs 200 pounds, who wants to weigh, say, 175. 2,000 calories one day, 1,750 the next day, but I wouldn't want him to cut back on protein on that lower calorie day. Always keep your protein up, reduce your fats and carbs. So that's what I would say to you. Always keep your protein the same. You don't have to necessarily eat more protein on that protein day. I'm assuming you're always eating more protein. Eat a little bit more fats and carbs. And just make sure you're eating good fiber. See, it's interesting. When it comes to these diets, I like throwing in the fiber. I know the carnivore guys think fiber is an anti-nutrient. It's going to stop you from processing and absorbing vitamins, minerals, and things like that. I'm not really in that camp. I mean, these guys are probably smarter than me. Dr. 𝘾𝙊𝘾𝙃𝙄𝙉𝙂, Dr. Sean Baker. These are smart guys. I follow them. I love their content. But I find that a higher fiber diet does a few things. And it does a few. First of all, I think it's great for your digestive tract. It keeps everything moving really good. The soluble, the insoluble fiber. Plus, I find it very filling fiber. It's just like protein. You have like a piece of salmon and avocado like you eat every day and an arugula salad and some blueberries. You're not hungry for 4 or 5 hours and your stomach feels so good. I mean, I just absolutely love it. So when I tell someone to stay within a calorie restricted state and eat an adequate amount of protein, I'm always concerned that they're going to backfill their calories. And what I mean by backfill, I mean carbs and fat. Okay, so say they're eating 1,500 calories, they're eating 120 grams of protein, right? Those remaining calories, fat and carbohydrates. If I said to them, don't think about fiber, eat whatever you want, they can eat Twinkies and fill in those calories. You know what I mean? They can eat junk food. They can eat processed food. But if I also say, make sure you eat at least 25 grams of fiber, it's going to guarantee me and them, me and you, that you're eating vegetables, fruits, you're eating whole foods. Or else you're not going to hit your fiber requirement for the day. You know what I mean? So without me telling people don't eat junk, don't eat garbage, if I just tell them, eat 25, 30, I must eat 40, 45 grams of fiber a day, literally. Because I eat an avocado every day, I eat broccoli, cauliflower, I mean, maybe too much of it. It upsets my stomach if I overdo it. Like last night I had my sweet potato and a mound of broccoli, I mean, loaded with fiber, both of them. If I eat a potato, I eat the skin, things like that. It just guarantees me that they're eating a good, healthy diet. That's why I like to add fiber to the equation too. And fermented foods, that would be another side. I mean, how many things can I cover in this one bit live stream? I would say I like fermented foods too. I eat some type of form of fermented food every day. I already had a yogurt this morning. I eat sauerkraut, pickles. I'm not a big kimchi person, but I know that's a really good source too. But yeah, I love the fiber too. Okay, this is Sean. Thank you for your reply, my friend. UK, oh yeah, I went to the Channel Islands once, but which was incredible. This was a business trip I took with my wife like before my kids were born 25 years ago. I loved it, but we didn't really spend time. I got to go to London, got to go for the UK. My son loves Liverpool. That's his team. He's a big soccer kid. And I just watched Manchester, in a game, which was great. I love football, European football. It's such a great sport. Okay. I'm interested in your help with learning to eat better and more healthy. Please let me know how to get a link to get your help. I am a nurse who works nights. Yeah, the night shift work. Oh, Vince, I know. Well, lucky we have you. But then, the night shift workers is a little bit more challenging when it comes to circadian rhythm and things like that. But I think I can help you. I mean, there's going to be a link below this video. You can click that link. You'll see it. It talks about my coaching program. It's a little corny because, I can't just, have you fill out. You have to watch this little video. It's like a 1-minute video. It kind of tells you like a little bit what the coaching program is about. Then if you click right below that video, it's going to take you to just a few questions. It's going to be like how much weight you're looking to lose, what your age is, like maybe 4 or 5 questions just to give me an idea of what your goals are. Then it'll show you the price of the coaching program. And if that all looks good to you, then you can click a link that's going to take you to my calendar, and then you can book a free video call with me, a Zoom call. And it'll be like a 30-minute call. We'll go over your goals, exactly what you're looking to do in like great detail. And then if it looks good for you, then you can, I send you like a pay link, and then we get the whole game started. You answer all those questions. We do the onboarding call. I put everything in the app for you. People love it. Like I said, I don't know if you were here earlier. There's like a ton of accountability. We do these video calls constantly. There's the group coaching call on Sundays. I'm going to be texting you every single day. The only thing I have to say, Vince, you have to be ready. You know what I mean? You can't just because believe me, you're going to do well, but you're going to just have to follow the program. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to be on you. That's the main thing. So you have to really be ready. Okay, let's see. Great advice, mate. Thanks. Joey, thumbs up. Sally, thank you. Lost 15 pounds last week. Hey, Robin, man, I love to hear that. That sounds good. Let me know how'd you do it. Did you follow my advice or you just did it on your own? That's great. Great to hear you. Thanks. Oh, that's great. No, I'd love to work with you. Okay, this is Robin. Been watching you consistently the past month. Well, that's great. Following your meal plans, OMAD, 24-hour fasting 3 times a week, then 16-8. Well, love it. Let's love it. Great job. Great to hear it. I have to say, it's really, I'm fine. It took me years. I've been doing this. I've been training people for 40 years. I've owned the gym for 37 years. The social media thing, I went really heavy. from the day of the pandemic, because I had to close my gym for 8 months. I couldn't do anything, so I started really, and it took me years to get a following. I have to say that in the last few months, I'm starting to get a really good following, especially on Instagram. I have multiple videos with well over. I have one video with 6 million views, and that's where I get most of my coaching clients are coming from Instagram. Some on YouTube, but a lot from Instagram. So I love getting comments like that, because for years, like, I must have 800 videos on YouTube. I'm making these videos and I'm not hearing anything. But I have to say, like, nowadays, every single day, I get anywhere from 6 to 12 emails, comments, like direct DMs from like guys like Robert, who said, Mike, I've been watching your videos. I lost 40 pounds. I lost 20 pounds. I mean, it makes me feel great, because I was almost, like, I always think, I was almost going to give up a couple of years ago. Like, enough of this. No one's watching my videos, but I'm so glad I hung in there. But I love hearing stories like that. Thank you for motivation. Went from 205 to 190. No problem so far. Feel great. Fantastic, Robert. And not to throw you off at all, Rob, but at some point, if you've been in a calorie deficit for weeks now, take a break. I know you don't want to do it, and I don't want to mess you up. Take a break for a week, Rob, and try to go to maintenance, or 10 days. I don't know how many calories you're doing now. I know you're doing the fasting and the 𝘾𝙊𝘾𝙃𝙄𝙉𝙂 and all that. But at some point, it's not good, like I said earlier, it's not good to restrict calories or to be in a deficit for too long, because you can over-exaggerate that metabolic adaptation. Okay? I know this, and I don't want to throw you off, but you might want to consider relatively soon, unless you've been taking some breaks along the way, or unless you feel like when you're doing the fasting and then the eating, on the days that you do eat, you have maintenance calories, then you never have to take a diet break. But if you do feel, though, it's been like weeks now, like more than 8, more than 10 weeks, and you've just been in a deficit, consistently losing, you might want to take a break for a week or two and then go back into the deficit. Just keep that in mind. I love your accent. I'm from Liverpool too, Sean. Oh, that's great. That's great. So you must love Liverpool too. It's funny, yeah. Obviously I don't hear my accent, but people tell me, people make fun of me a lot too. But I love the UK accent too. I love it. It's great. But thanks. You're changing lives, my friend. Keep up the good work. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice, Sean. I love to hear it. Really, really nice of you. That's great. Okay, so let's cover just the last couple of things. So we covered calorie deficit, part 1 of the formula. Proteins 2. 3 is walking. 4, like I said, you have to do some type of resistance training. You don't got to kill yourself. 20 minutes, 3 days a week at the gym. 30 minutes, 3 days a week. Doing these full body resistance training workouts I love. And then number 5, like we've been talking about, I'm just repeating myself now. These are my 5 steps. I do love the intermittent fasting, time restricted eating. I love just the basic 16-8. You fast for 16 hours every day. You're still hydrated, right? You drink a little black coffee. You drink some tea. And then I love just taking in all your calories with an 8-hour eating window. I love a 2 meals a day. Protein bar, protein shake, just to make sure you're getting your protein in. I mean, I loved it. I think this is one of the simplest systems to get people to lose weight and sustain it. And then, like I say, every couple of months, if you feel like you've been in a calorie deficit, consistently take a break for a week, start it up again. It's just great for your metabolism. That's my 5-step plan. It's been so effective with so many different people. Good point, 2 months deficit, then take a break, then go back into the game. Yeah, Joey, I really like that. I think it solves so many problems, because I do occasionally get people like this. Like, it's more rare than you think, but there are people who have been restricting calories like just for decades. I mean, like they've been dieting aggressively for like 20 years, overly working out, similar to the Biggest Loser. Maybe they've had some breaks from it, but they just did really slow down their metabolism. So I find this is a short, nothing is a guarantee, but I find this is a good system to minimize the slowdown in your metabolism, taking these diet breaks if you've been in a calorie deficit somewhat aggressively for a couple of months. If it's a small deficit, you probably don't. I just find the small deficits to be so hard to calculate. I know, like, if you can go and say, oh, I'm going to eat like 200 calories less this week. It's just, the weight loss is so slow, and it's so hard to monitor 200 calories. Even with the cycling, I wouldn't want to just cycle someone 200 calories more one day less, unless they're like a really petite gal you know, who's, you know, 1,400 calories, you know, and they're really diligent with tracking. But typically, I like bigger cycles. But that's it. I mean, that's my 5 steps. So, all right, guys, this was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to start going. I was thinking about maybe making this possibly a regular thing, or maybe every other Saturday afternoon. I used to get like 30, 40 people when I used to go live every Sunday. But I don't think people knew I was going live today, so only maybe 10, 12, 15 people showed up. So maybe if I pick a set time, we'll get a lot of people again. But thanks. Any questions before I go? I hope everyone's going to have a little fun tonight, Saturday night. It's funny. My wife volunteers at a church on Saturday. She's works at a Goodwill. But every Saturday, my wife brings home more stuff from the Goodwill, like, you know, things that she's seen that she buys. You know, it's so funny. She loves that type of stuff. She's like a thrifter. You know, she loves working there. So much fun. So this is like our one night out. We'll probably do something tonight. But I'm always working, and I do my live stream tomorrow morning too. So with my group call, so I feel like I'm working 6 days, 7 days a week. But I like this stuff. It's not really working. It's like having fun. Okay, guys, thanks for showing up. Any questions before I go? Because I know there's like a minute delay. All right, guys, I really appreciate everyone showing up. And I know a couple of people think they may want to inquire about the coaching program. Just click that link, watch the video, and then book a call with me. I'm looking forward to meeting you. But take care, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Have some fun tonight. And go out for a walk tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. I'm looking to the left because I have slides here. Sunday morning, get that sunlight. Get outside for a walk first thing in the morning. Take care, everyone. That was great.